Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. This is early Borderlands 4 gameplay. Massive thank you to 2K, massive thank you to the Borderlands 4 team for allowing me a little preview slither of Borderlands 4 to show to you guys. We've been playing the game a little bit. It's myself and Joey Conway. Say hi, Joe.
Hey, everyone.
Yep. This is Joe's gameplay, and he's playing as VEX right now. And just to sort of set the scene, this is going to be a little slither of gameplay from the early stages of the game, I'd say. And we're not going to be talking about storyline stuff from before this specific area and mission or afterwards, nor are we going to be talking about gameplay from before this specific area or afterwards. Like, what we're allowed to talk about is literally what we are seeing on the screen, basically. Okay, so just want to make that really abundantly clear. But that does mean that, like, as you see Joe grappling around and doing all sorts of stuff in the clips here, we can talk about those sorts of systems because they're in the gameplay. So that's the first thing just off the bat that I wanted to mention. I also want to kind of give you a little bit of a idea of how this video is going to work from a structure perspective. So we're going to basically play through the entire mission. That is the intention. And there will be points where we're just going to let the gameplay speak for itself. There will be other points, like right now, where I'll be talking, or other bits where Joe and I will be having a conversation about a given feature or a given mechanic or what have you. But we're not going to be commentating the entire thing through and through. So there'll be a little bit of a change to the rhythm here and there as we go. So just to begin with, Joe, you're playing as VEX here. Talk to me a little bit about the stuff that you've got equipped on VEX in the gameplay here, just so we can kind of get a feel for what her kit does for you.
Yeah, so I'm using the Incarnate action skill, and that's pretty much, I don't have any summons. I've built her to be more critical damage focused. I use a lot of like Jacob's weapons and Jacob's shotguns for crit damage. But yeah, with VEX, I use my action skill and I throw out these like purple orb things that you saw earlier. If I pick them up, it extends my action skill. And I could also blow them up. So like whenever I kill an enemy, it spawns a purple orb, and then I can just blow them up on the enemies, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
A lot of the movement stuff is just in the movement sandbox. So you can do this with all of the characters.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot of gliding, jumping, dashing, that sort of stuff. But the actual VEX abilities that I'm using here are more focused on like lifesteal and crit damage, and then beyond that, the action skill where I do a bunch of damage with a purple orb.
Yeah,
which is pretty fun.
Blobbies, nice. And yeah, I'm noticing, like, compared to some of my gameplay in the clips here, you're using the glide a lot more than I currently use it, which is making me think like, maybe I should be gliding a little bit more. But there are just so many different new additions to the movement sandbox in this game, and certainly from my perspective, speaking specifically to the mission here, it is something that really just opens up a lot of doors for the way that you roam around the world, I think.
Yes.
Seeing you sort of doing your little slides and then like potentially hitting a grapple like you just tried to do there and missed the grapple.
I missed, yep.
Yeah, but like those sorts of things really, they make me feel a lot more free, which compared to a previous Borderlands game is just, it's really nice to have that sense of, I don't know, just optionality, I guess, to sort of do whatever I want. I'm curious if that's something that you sort of find in a mission like this when you're surrounded by enemies, is something that has already sort of become second nature, or are you still sort of thinking like, oh, this feels really like funky to be doing all these extra sort of movement things in a Borderlands game? Like how naturally has that come to you?
I mean, after like a few hours of playing the game, I'm just doing all this stuff. Like, it almost feels button spammy, but in a good way. I'm just kind of doing it. Like, I'll find myself just gliding across an arena on accident sometimes, but like, otherwise, most of it's intentional.
Nice. Hell yeah.
And it just feels natural.
Yeah, it definitely. It looks like, even just watching your gameplay, I'm like, yeah, I need to make slightly more use of the sort of movement sandbox, like a tiny bit myself, just because it just looks fun, like chaining it all together. It's like, oh, okay.
No, honestly,
yummy.
It's super fun. It's super fun to just jump around and be a hooligan.
Yeah. And so what we're doing here in the mission, you can see on the left hand side of the screen, it says, rush the gate, kill Idolator Sol, and find airship hangar. Now, Idolator Sol, without even having played the game, just from preview content that they put out over the last sort of several months, is one of these kind of big, scary antagonists in one of the areas of the game. And something that I have really noticed, even just from the subtitles and the dialogue happening in this mission, is it feels to me like they've really nailed the goal that they had of making it so the dialogue in the game wasn't all just hella corny. Because the Borderlands 3, one of its primary critiques, I feel like, was the campaign really just didn't land for people, and you were doing so much playing of the campaign, and when it had these kind of corny jokes that were they were almost a bit too old 2007 to 2011 humor still. Like, they were too old Borderlands almost, but trying to be more modern, but then kind of ending up being a bit more cringe, I guess. Whereas in this, it feels like a lot of what I'm seeing in the mission here is just sort of more typical action mission stuff. I mean, is that in line with your experience of this as well?
Yeah, definitely for this mission. There's more of a bit of a serious tone here. At least this point in the story, yes.
Yeah. I'm liking the scale of this area as well, seeing that ship take off.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. And also, I don't know if I mentioned this at the start of the video, but just for context, folks, so we're watching Joe's gameplay because I've been leveling a different character. I've been leveling Eamon, but I saw, I did a poll, right, on Twitter wow.
Yep, and then I fall off and die.
Yep, that'll happen.
Yeah, this was a little costly. It was like 200 grand to respawn here.
Oh, damn. Wait, that much? Jesus Christ. Okay.
I think it's like 10% of your money.
Right.
Something like that.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, painful. 184k. That's a house.
Down the drain because I didn't realize I had no glide stamina.
Yeah. So, I've been leveling Eamon. Joe's been leveling Vex. And I did a poll on Twitter. And I also did another poll on my YouTube posts tab. And asked people what... here we go. Can he make it? He made it this time.
I did it.
Yeah. Asked people what character they were going to be playing first. And in both polls, Vex was such a clear leader, it wasn't even funny. Like, Vex had like over half the votes in one of the polls. And that's 4 Vault Hunters, and half the votes are going to one character. So I figured rather than showing my Eamon gameplay in this particular video, we would focus on the Vex gameplay here, just because I suspected it's what people want to see a little bit more. But that actually does bring us to another thing that I do want to address in this video, which is kind of our intentions for coverage of this game. So many of you guys will have seen over the last couple of months that while I've been traveling, Joe's been stepping in for me and doing audio on a few videos here and there, and just sort of taking point on various sort of parts of the channel. And I think that Borderlands is one of those games where it's going to be so hard to stay on top of all parts of the game at all times as one person, because it's such a big game. And so our intent is that I'll be streaming it a ton, so you can definitely check out the streams on twitch.tv/MrRoflWaffles. We'll be multi-streaming most likely on YouTube as well. But we're also going to have Joe making a bunch of videos alongside so that we can kind of try and give you guys the stream value when you want the stream value, and give you guys the video value when you want just a guide, or you just need to know a quick XP farm, or like something like that. Like, we're going to just give it a test out and see how it goes. And this is something that I feel like, Joe, you probably agree with this. Like, we've been sort of building up to doing these sorts of things for quite a long time, and it feels like this is quite a good game to kind of run the playbook and see how it goes.
Oh, for sure, for sure. It's been years of in the making.
Yeah, big time. I mean, for context, some of you guys might not know this. Joe and I have known each other for how long at this point?
Nearly 15 years or something?
Yeah, something like that. Honestly, at this point, it might be more. I genuinely don't know. I'm like completely lost track, but it's somewhere in that region. And Joe has been obviously in the zombies community for a long time. but then also working with me, has had a part in so many of the videos that you guys will have seen over the years, and you might not have even realized he was sort of helping out behind the scenes. So yeah, we've got a lot of reps that have gone into doing this sort of stuff. Yeah, for sure. The stream stuff is a little bit more recent. We haven't done as many Joey Conway-led streams, but we've tried that a little bit recently for Reckoning, the zombies map and stuff. And that, I think that's gone pretty well as well. So we'll get some Joey Conway Borderlands streams going as well. Why not? We'll mix it up.
Right, we'll be out here.
Yeah. What are you trying to do in the gameplay here? Yeah. What's happening?
I was a little bit confused.
Okay.
Because I was supposed to do something first. So like I have to knock this part of the ship off or whatever, the docking clamp, but like I have to do another one first.
Yeah.
But just opening up the objective reminder thing told me to go back to the spawn area.
Got it. Okay.
Not the spawn area, the beginning area.
I noticed also, so you've got the like circular radar on in your top right corner. That's an option, right?
Yep.
You can make the choice as to whether you want that or not.
Yep.
You also obviously have the compass at the top of the screen. What this does mean is that there are quite a few different objective things around, or just like pieces of information to keep track of. I'm curious, when you're playing in a scenario like this, where you're just sort of like pathfind to an objective, or a scenario like earlier where you're fighting a bunch of enemies, how much of the time are you actually looking at that stuff versus just like shooting whatever is in front of you? Like, are you following
I'm mostly
the
shooting whatever's in front of me.
Okay.
If I can't find enemies, I'll look at the radar in the top right.
Yeah.
And then at the top compass I use for objective markers. So like I don't think the radar shows any of that.
Yeah, I think it's
the radar
just
only
red
shows
dots.
enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And right now there are none, so it's empty.
Yep.
Yeah. I have found that like you'll be in a mission like this and there'll be sometimes like a twisty corridor. This is a perfect example. This is a twisty corridor and you've got a singular objective marker that in this case was like 35 meters away, so it wasn't a big deal. But you'll press the pathfind button, which I think is Z by default, and you will it will kind of get a path shown to you that will not be a direct line to the objective. And sometimes I'm like, wait, should I just be ignoring the path that it's telling me to go and instead just like trying to straight line it and doing the like Skyrim walk the horse up the mountain situation? That seems to be something that even specifically within the confines of this mission, I'm like, yeah, I could see myself finding some shortcuts here. Maybe there's some hidden paths or two, perhaps.
Yep.
So what's happening in this area now? So you've just gone up this lift.
Yeah, I think there's just some more enemies before the actual final boss.
Yeah. And that
so
yellow dude there
towards there
is Idolator Soul, is that right?
That we see like the hologram?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the angry man.
The angry big man.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just.
Oh, and as you can see,
yeah, go ahead.
I want to something with the VEX action skill here. You can see when I kill enemies, they drop those purple orbs, and then when I pick them up, it just extends the timer. So you see the purple bar.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go pick this up, and it extends it. So it's just gonna last longer. And then every like, I don't know, 8 seconds or so, it recharges this ability. We'll see in a second. Yeah, 8 seconds.
Yep.
Recharges the ability where I can shoot out a purple orb. So I can keep that going pretty much for an entire fight if I wanted to.
Yeah.
And then when I kill an enemy and they get near one of those purple orbs, like another one gets near a purple orb, I can blow it up for extra damage. So that's what I built out here. My 20-something skill points allows me to do. Right.
And I'm just like tunnel visioning on that purple bar right now, and it has lasted so long. Like
yeah,
that
insane amount of time.
Was crazy. And so there are other skills like that in the game as well. So on Amon, for example, you have a fiery punch skill. I actually forget the name of it right this second. But you basically go into sort of like berserker mode, and you can like do this charged, like overcharged fire punch. And you've got abilities, skills within that tree too, where it's like, okay, like you get kills with it, it'll extend your timer, so you can kind of juggle it and keep it going for a much longer amount of time, which is always fun. I feel like in any game, not just Borderlands, but just generally, when you're kind of given a new resource to manage, and through smart gameplay, you can balance and juggle that resource. It just always feels good. It feels like real mastery of the game. So yes. I like that that's present here. And you feel like, does it feel like, for example, in the context of this fight where you were kind of charging it up a lot, do you feel like you have sufficient opportunities to juggle it, and it feels like pretty well balanced in that regard?
Oh yeah, yeah. When there's a lot of enemies, it's like you can keep it up infinitely if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
So another thing that I want to quickly talk about is performance. So the way that we're recording this video right now, it's actually a little hard for me to tell. Are you at like a stable 60 in the gameplay here? Are you having any fluctuations? Like, what in this mission is your performance like?
So I've done this mission twice. The first time I didn't have frame gen on, and I was about like 60 to like 80 FPS.
Okay.
It's worth mentioning I have like a nuclear computer.
So what does that mean, just for context for people listening?
I just have really high specs. So if you know anything about like graphics cards and stuff, I have a 4090 and my CPU is a Ryzen 9950X.
Okay.
So there's a lot of hardware going into this, but I'm also running it on medium. So like I can't really run it on the very high settings. In this recording, I'm on frame generation, and I was running at like 130 to 140 FPS most of the time.
Okay, so frame gen is essential for you to be at like a stable 120, let's say.
Yes.
Oh, and we're going to boss here as well, so this is exciting. Let's just let this cutscene play.
The obligation of the weak is to nourish the strong. You will die, and I will return to the Timekeeper's side. May we rule forever.
Dude has so much aura. That is crazy. God damn.
I know. He is so cool.
And this is a cool arena as well. I actually really like the design of this space. It's just like, it feels very Idolator Soul, actually. So
yes, it's very golden, grand.
Yeah. And sort of looks like his tummy. Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
So yeah, performance-wise, I have experienced similar to what you're saying, where I have a less nuclear PC. I've got a 5950X, and I have a 3090. And I will be around, on low, to be clear as well, on actual just the lowest settings, I'll be about 70 FPS without frame gen on, with DLSS on, like, balanced. And, like, when I've run this mission as well, I've noticed that, like, here or there, I'll get one or two hitches that I can't really figure out where they're coming from. It just seems to happen kind of randomly here and there. But to be super duper ultra clear, we're obviously playing before the day one patch, so much of that stuff might change. And like Joe said, with frame gen on, it is like doubles your frame rate. Like I'm at like 120 easily. I mean, that's not quite double, but like it's a really significant boost. And I mean, what we're watching right now looks pretty smooth.
Yeah.
And gory. I guess you've got the gore turned on, right?
Very, yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what did you think of the design of this guy? The fight design from a gameplay perspective.
I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, you gotta wait for these things to come out of the sky, and then you throw it at him, then it breaks his armor. And then as you can see, I'm just like hitting crit spots, but he himself is just very cool looking. His attacks are cool, and the health bars are pretty much just phases. So he just does more abilities as you go. And another cool mechanic is like, he has this thing where if he eats the people that are spawned in the arena, he gets his armor back.
Yeah.
I believe that's how the mechanic works, which is pretty cool. So if you kill the people, his armor will be off for longer.
Yeah. So it just gives you a little bit of a sort of benefit or an advantage over him if you be on top of your game.
Then if you have your movement down, you can stay clear of this part where I died one time, not in this gameplay.
Okay. Because you got the movement down now, baby.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yep.
Yep.
I think this just looks really cool as well. I love the isolating one piece of the floor. And I mean, this is something that we obviously can't speak to because, as we've said, we're only talking about the gameplay that we're looking at here. But I'm really hopeful that in the end game for this game, they've got some cool, quite complex, almost Destiny-like raid encounters. Like, I yearn for those sorts of things. And I'm crossing my fingers because, like, just looking at Idolator Soul here, this guy's got some cool mechanics. It remains to be seen whether that will translate to the end game of this game, and we can only speculate right now because of the embargo. But obviously, as soon as the game is streamable, we will be streaming the game. We'll be streaming a bunch of end game stuff. We'll be doing all sorts of bits and pieces.
Yep. And as of right now, and in the game, you can actually replay missions. So there's a whole replay mission option. This guy drops like legendary gear. I'm not sure how all the boss replay stuff works, but
yeah, that's
not in that
Moxie's
game yet.
big encore machine, right?
Yep.
Yeah, they've sort of shown that off a little bit, I feel like, in preview footage, and I think it's a very welcome new Borderlands addition. Big fan of what they're thinking about there. It really feels like they've heard a lot of Borderlands feedback from the last basically decade, and I don't know what it is, but it feels like they're more motivated to implement that feedback in this game than they have been like nearly ever before. Like, it feels like they're just really trying to listen, which is and not just listen, but implement as well, which has been a really nice thing to see, to be honest.
Yeah, it feels very Borderlands, but it's very improved.
Now, I'm curious also, as you're playing here, you're using this gun a lot. You clearly are a fan of this gun. Do you find that there's, like, in this mission, there's sort of just like one gun that does the highest DPS that you're just going to sort of gravitate to, or is it more so that you're just like, I got this and it was new, and so I was like, I'm just going to give it a go because it's new and I want to play with something new for a bit? Like, are you being motivated to switch weapons a lot as you, even picking up loot within the mission? Or, how's that kind of been feeling?
So, this is the first time I use this gun.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
I happen to switch weapons pretty often. I don't think I'll usually do it mid-mission. Usually wait till after I look at all my loot and then change as needed. If something's not good, I'll look to change that sooner. But all the stuff in the kit kind of has its own purpose, I think. I've used each weapon a little bit. I have a bias towards Jacob's shotguns, and that's what that is.
Just generally?
So,
yeah.
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 So I always have a Jacob shotgun equipped.
I feel the same way. I have a Jacob shotgun that I'm using right now. And it's really nice.
It's very fun. And in my gear, I have it so my Jacob's crit hits ricochet one extra time.
Oh.
So I can kill 3 enemies at once. And I think the crit damage just does a lot. And I have crit buffs, so.
Yeah, the DPS
Shotguns,
on those things.
Ton of damage.
So good.
Yep.
I also, I'm really curious to see how those sorts of decisions change for endgame, because obviously at endgame you've got like set bonus stuff that's going to start coming in. You've got the just various new systems actually that we haven't really seen in Borderlands before, and it's going to mean that there's a lot more stuff to farm. There's going to be a lot of excuses to farm, lots of motivation to farm. But I'm really curious if that's going to kind of end up all filtering down to one kind of main meta, or if it's actually going to mean there's more meta diversity now. Or I'm just super curious, because I feel like Borderlands, you always end up with something that's just like disgustingly OP, like to an outrageous extent. And I feel like with all these extra systems, there's actually more risk of there being OP stuff. I say risk as if it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but like there's more likelihood, maybe I should say, for there to be crazy OP combinations. But something that we've seen in like Destiny, for example, played a lot of Destiny, and one of the things that sandbox struggles with is the sandbox is so full of stuff now that there's some difficulty, I think, in balancing for the general player who doesn't have the really niche, really crazy build versus that player that does have the super optimized thing, and then the activity is really easy for them. And it's just going to remain to be seen what that's like in Borderlands, but I'm very curious how it goes this year, because the end game looks like it's going to be really promising. I'm very excited for it, but yeah, it's going to be a wait and see, probably, I would say.
Yeah, I will say from my playtime, it feels like every gun I've used has felt a little bit different.
Yeah, same here.
Even if a little bit similar, but yeah, they all feel different. This is the first time I've had a Jacob shotgun that I can throw and it explodes into grenades. Like,
hell yeah.
you know what I mean? So
that's Borderlands, baby.
Exactly. Like, I've had multiple guns that have felt really good. And I felt like I main, even if it's not a Jacob shotgun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it feels like there's a lot of variety and there's a lot of different things that could work. So I'm also curious.
Yeah. So let's let the weapons speak for themselves a little bit here, and we're just gonna let the gameplay run for a moment. We'll be back with you in a second.
He's strong. You wish you could control me.
All right, so loot shower, you got it. You're checking through all the loot here, and there's quite a lot of it as well. There's nothing like a Borderlands game where you kill a boss, and the room is just full of little glowing bricks and pieces of bits and pieces. Always. So
It's all over the place.
yeah, man.
Yep.
I mean, he had a big tummy. It makes sense. He had a lot in there.
He did. Mm-hmm.
Not sure why he was eating hungry, dripping nuisance, though. But
No, I have no idea.
listen, that's his business. And yeah, I think that's pretty much gonna wrap us up. So hopefully all of you enjoyed the little preview that we've had for you today. And we will have plenty more Borderlands 4 coverage coming in the next couple of days. So please, please, please make sure to let us know in the comments section which videos you would like to see next. And we will do our best to get to those videos for you all. Okay? Thank you, folks. Bye for now.